have to understand your markets. I'm sure there are key investors in the information business in the United States of America, for example, in the United Kingdom, who have toyed with the idea of charging for information. But understand that there are different movements coming up. There is one the movement that says that, look, this information is actually a professional engagement for which it should be priced. And that is okay. There's also a school of thought that believes that this information can be made available by different people in different models. But there's also a school of thought for which Proshare leans forward, which says, yes, we agree with the two school of thoughts, but we can marry the two school of thoughts, i.e., we can set up a service that provides the best in practice information for which the market uses to engage. That in itself, if it's able to deliver such a credible value, becomes a premium for it in terms of engagement in multi-level different revenue generating opportunities. And so you'll find that credible brands therefore choose to advertise on a Proshare service because they understand that the people, the practices, the processes, and the professionalism with which they conduct their affairs at Proshare suggests a brand leverage for them. Secondly, they also understand that these discussions are important. It is better if they are conducted by a platform that is well regarded by the industry. And then secondly, if you were to restrict the information, you limit the impact of the robustness in the conversation. And that goes to the core. I've said, how do Proshare approve its subscription? Why do they not advertise and kind of like promote it? Because the people who really are involved in the decision-making process and people who are the target audience of Proshare are such that they would understand that there is a responsibility that comes from it. And you find very discerning leading economists writing and publishing materials there, very discerning capital market operators and stockbroking firms publishing their analyst report on the Proshare website. And that's not news. It is their report. We are also making available to you. So from about 5 leading fund managers, you can get the same report on the same company. Now, what does that mean for an investor who is not a client of any of those companies? He can have the opportunity to read what the 5 different companies have to say and track it over time. And immediately he can decide on what we call a lead conversion process, whereby he decides to go to this stockbroking firm because over time he has seen that their research is credible, it is spot on, and the calls they make on the market are much more higher on the believability scale than for the others, and it creates in itself what I would call a pressure within the professionals in the industry to raise their game. And so what you find is that the quality of fundamental and technical analysis is higher in the industry because everybody is now in an open and public space where the information can be benchmarked side by side. And so internally within the capital market practice and within professional firms and analyst firms, there is an inherent pressure for everybody to raise their game. And so this service is not just about one company, it is about the industry. It is about how the industry gets better. Now, each of them has the opportunity to go on the web TV, to take up a program and to express themselves. And so the whole public, the investing public, benefits better. The market gains better because you therefore have an unregulated pressure to raise your game. It needs not be regulated that you should increase the quality of reports you write, increase the quality of the basis upon which people engage with you. And also Proshare, perhaps still, Proshare provides some feedback in terms of its share support service, whereby it rates services of fund managers and therefore allows the market in itself to find a means in which it can learn, it can unlearn, and it can relearn things that are relevant for the whole market. We are bullish on the prospect of the Nigerian economy, that this economy would self-correct at some stage. It would have to understand that it is the only means and the only sustainable means with which it can survive as a sovereign nation. But then it needs institutions like this to step up and present for the public a better information access for which to engage in such a discussion rather than disinformation or we talking without the basic data. So our belief, and I believe it permits around the whole board of the Proshare enterprise, is that Proshare 5.0 signifies a turning point for the future of finance in Nigeria. We must get to a stage whereby we all understand that we have to raise our game. We all have to understand that the dynamics have changed, and we must plug it into the new developments that are occurring. And we must find a way to engage in terms of policy so that we do not just end up being people who just follow a single policy and cannot engage. But the engagement means must be constructive, must be positive, must also enable Nigeria to retain its major focus in terms of becoming the financial hub into Africa. And that is critical for us.